All right. Well, sometimes that game can really be a bit of a trap game before you leave for the holidays, and I thought our kids did a good job coming out ready to play. It's something that we had talked about a lot, and just making sure we were locked in and focused, and I thought for the most part we were to start the game. It's hard to maintain that. We played a lot of kids tonight, and there were some breakdowns, but that kind of stuff happens. But for the most part, I'm pleased with the effort.
Your starting lineup, the chemistry really looked good with that group, especially on the defensive end, and they did a lot of good switching, communicating verbally, and then when they got the rebound, they really pushed the ball. I imagine that's something that caught your eye.
Yeah, well, that was what we wanted to do. I thought we could have even done a better job of it, actually. When we started subbing here and there, it kind of slowed us down a little bit, and that's, we don't want that to happen, but it is what it is right now. But I thought we pushed the ball at pretty good tempo today. Probably the biggest disappointment was the free throw line. I mean, 9 for 21 at the free throw line. Are you kidding me? I'm like, what the heck? Like, that's not good. You work, you do things to get yourself to the free throw line, so you've got to make it pay off. So those 81 points, it should have been a lot more than that if we'd have, handled our business at the free throw line.
I was going to ask about that next. I mean, you obviously got as many layups as you kind of wanted, but couldn't convert all the ways. I mean, is that just a mentality thing, or just the bad day?
Look, man, free throws are just one of those things you don't, do you talk about it, not talk about it? It's this mental thing, whatever. I mean, everybody's a capable shooter. So you just got to get up there and knock them down. We shoot them in practice. We do different things to put a little pressure on them, but, you either are or you aren't. I mean, it just, you either do or you don't. So it's just, that's probably, that's just disappointing to see that number.
Could you talk a little about your freshman? When you watch her play, you can tell she's having a good time out there, and it seems like it's really contagious, and she's really, in some ways, just by the way she plays, is a leader out there.
Well, her energy is contagious. It should be contagious. She plays with really a great passion for the game, and that's how she practices. So we don't see anything different during a game than we see every day in practice, and that's a real credit to Russ, because that's her pure love of the game of basketball. We see it every day, and it's refreshing every day to see it. So, and as she continues to mature as a player and her decisions continue to mature, I think that she's going to be a heck of a player.
Defensively, it looked really good in Athens. You held them to single digits in 2 periods tonight. How do you feel like the progress is going on that side of the ball right now?
Well, I thought we had some real advantage over them today. Athens was a lot different. That team was much, much different than the team was today. So I'm not surprised by that number. It's how it should look, if I'm being really honest with you. So, the disappointing thing becomes the 21 points in the fourth quarter that we give up. There's no, but again, we're subbing, but yet you've got to be able to play to a standard. So we'll continue to work and help kids understand that when they get their opportunity on the floor, it doesn't matter where it comes, you got to produce. You have to do things the way we're doing them.
On that same subject, I guess when you get into ACC games, there's going to be times where you're going to have to substitute also.
Yeah.
So and naturally they weren't a great shooting team and probably could have done a lot more damage if you were facing a better shooting team. So I guess that's a teaching point for your team.
Well, I think the way you got to look at it, I mean, it's like you're proving yourself every day, whether you're a starter or you're not. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can play, prove to your coaches, to your teammates, and all that. And so it's not when you get in a game, it's not a time to not play to the best of your ability. I don't care what the score is or what the clock says. It doesn't matter. And so those are just learning things. We're still young, and we've got to understand how important those minutes on the floor are.
Finished non-con 9-3. Does it feel like this was a good successful run for you in this part of the season? How do you feel just now that this chapter is done?
Yeah, it always feels good to finish with wins, for sure. And I go back and I look at the losses, and we've learned some things through those losses. We've grown up through those losses. So I think we're sitting in a really good place right now. We've got to now handle a break. We've got to be able to handle coming back and getting back in rhythm with each other, because we start on the road at Florida State. And that's a really tough, a tough thing to do. So we've got, all of a sudden, the big part of the season is upon us, and we've got to be ready for that. So, yeah, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back at it.
When you look at your inside players, you have, I guess, 4 different players that you're bringing off the bench, or in some cases starting. And it seems like each game that they go out, it's a different one that's stepping up. What are you seeing from that group?
Off the bench?
The three freshmen plus one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just put them in the game and see what they can do. I mean, I think they're coming along. I think there's still a lot of development to do with them. And they're going to have to play during the conference season, just because it is what it is. And so their development becomes very important. And again, it's them understanding that, and it's them really understanding it to the level of when they get their time on a game floor, that they've got to be able to produce. Or not produce might be the wrong word. You're thinking of points. You got to be able to defend. You got to be able to rebound. They're going to have to play at some point in time, and hopefully they'll be ready. All right. Thanks, y'all. Y'all, Merry Christmas.